dude.
Hey, Joel, nice to meet you. Joel, good to meet you. Yeah, absolutely. This is Charlie. What's up, man? What's up, Charlie? Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Seems like it's been an efficient day.
The tomatoes for you?
Yeah, that's hilarious. And the banana. That's incredible. Oh my God. My two least favorite things. Truly. I hate bananas as well.
I thought you ate tomatoes raw.
Oh, no.
No?
No,
you
you-
said that in a college interview.
Did I say that?
You did a long time ago.
I probably said I particularly hated raw tomatoes.
Oh, perfect.
I find them graphic.
Or maybe one of your moments.
It's hilarious.
Direct.
It's perfect.
Welcome to the Hot Brotherverse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like the microphones are pretty cool.
Microphones,
Yeah.
only the best. All right, let's do it. Well, thank you guys for doing this.
Oh, appreciate you
thanks for
having
having
us.
Jump in. Oh yeah, I didn't know if you wanted a
Banana or
not.
you know I hate. Can you eat raw tomatoes? No, I can't.
I can if they're like cherry tomatoes or sometimes if they're sliced, but like
The thing, and try to talk into the mics as close as possible. just
Sure.
because I think. Oh yeah, the chairs do go down.
Can we hold?
Actually, you know what? We could hold them. Yeah, that's a
That
good
might just
idea.
be easier
That
for
will
me.
be easier, as we're in a pretty spacious room here. Very nice. So yeah, the banana. It wasn't the connotation of banana. It was the comedy of the scene that
Yeah.
was really.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday. I watched
Oh,
the movie
cool.
yesterday.
Nice.
And just the emotional connection to scenes that I felt like one in the I won't get too detailed into the
Yeah,
scenes
yeah,
just
yeah.
to spoil them, but like the car scene, I felt like claustrophobic. Like
Yeah,
I was
great.
Yeah.
in my seat, just like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
like watching
yeah.
through my fingers. And then the pool scene was another one.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it was almost like you're going to slay a dragon.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
totally.
What it felt like. How do you inject such like a vivid emotion into a scene like that?
I think it's just, well, for those, it really is just giving the scenes time and not cutting away and not cutting out the sort of boring white noise that's sort of happening between the moments. Because I think it is, when you experience moments in real time with people, that's where discomfort and anxiety comes from. So yeah, I mean, like the pool party, it's like we follow her from the top of the stage, pretty much in real time all the way she gets in the pool. And part of it was just that, wanting to feel like you're really in this with her. It was actually like, some of the film was inspired by like VR, like doing VR. Like, I got like a little PSVR, the PlayStation like version of VR. And doing some of the VR, I was like, man, this is what I want the movie to feel like, actually. Like, I actually, like, if I could do a version of the movie, because people are like, oh, would you want to make this into a book or a television show? I'm like, no, if I wanted to make this into anything else, it would be a VR experience. Like, to walk through the pool party as Kayla or walk
That's
through.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just like, and then technically, sort of the way you do that is just really wide lenses and get close to her, so you allow the audience to, like, you're not telling them what to look at necessarily. They have their own field of vision and
Oh, so that almost gives them the emotional range to pick how they feel about it.
Exactly,
Instead of you
yeah.
telling them how they're feeling
and
about it.
that's the hope too. Is just like, again, like cuts, coverage, cutting into things, cutting away from things is actually giving the audience an out. And if you can
Yeah.
actually force them to stay in this moment, that's where it becomes. I'm saying because, the main character, Kayla, she would love to be able to cut away from the pool scene. You know what I mean?
Totally.
She would love to be able to experience these moments as montages, but she has to sit through them in real time. And that's sort of was the idea for the film as well.
And what's the perfect timing of this film is, one, you filmed this right after leaving 8th grade.
Yeah.
Which is it's the perfect timing. It really is like an amazing performance you put on.
Thank you.
In talking about the emotion of the scene, how much do you have to like, it's because in researching you guys, it's just funny to hear Bo say, I wrote this as I feel now, as opposed to when I was in 8th grade. And then it's an eighth grade girl who is resonating with this story that like a 27-year-old man wrote. How was it kind of fusing those two worlds together? Even in reading the script, like immediately.
I mean, yeah, I think a lot of it came to life, and I felt it more when we actually started filming. Because reading the script, I obviously felt a connection, but like reading it for the first time, it wasn't as strong as when we were doing it. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think the times are too different. Aside, like, yeah, he's an older man and I'm like a freshman girl, but like the feelings are still the same. We're just people,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I just understood her pretty basically, and it was just a belief that like she said, the feelings are the same. Like panic, fear, it's the same thing. If you're, for me, it was backstage at a theater instead of in a bathroom before a pool party. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the feeling was the same. So, and I was actually looking forward to exploring these feelings outside of the context of my own life, because all I was doing was exploring them in terms of my literal life. So yeah, if the question was what it was just pretty natural. You know what I mean? It just
It was all happening organically. The movie had that feel too. I mean, my mind immediately went to even just hearing the score and just the kind of the feel of the movie was just like John Hughes. I was just feeling this is a modern day John Hughes movie, and this is a filmmaker who has found a direction who's really gonna I feel like you found a new voice, really.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, well, the John Hughes thing is like, I remember hearing stories of people saying like, when he made The Breakfast Club or something, people would go like, "Why are you taking this so seriously? You're acting like being in high school is like being in Vietnam. It's not that big of a deal, So I hope that's the connection I really feel to him, in terms of, because I mean his is about another time, so I don't really totally resonate with the kids in his movie just because they weren't totally from my time of growing up,
Right.
But what I do really, what resonated with me about his movies, and I hope this movie does the same thing, is that it takes kids seriously on their own terms. It says that, Breakfast Club or 16 Candles, it says this is important to them now, and that's all that matters. And we're not totally looking at it from, the perspective of adults who've lived through this and are now looking back and saying, oh, okay, well, in light of all of life's circumstances, this is actually not that significant, or actually the only important thing about being in school is like what interests you cultivate that will eventually become your career. Like, who cares? Like, when we were making this film, we felt like America was going to blow up any day. Truly, like, so it was like, we don't even know if she's going to have an adulthood. So it's really just like, can we make it? And what the movie should feel like is like, does she make it to the end of this week okay, feeling okay, being okay? It doesn't matter what the adult she becomes, like that's all. That she has plenty of time to sort that out. So that's what I hope the connection is with John Hughes, that we take kids seriously on their own terms, and don't adultify the thing.
Especially now more than ever, with kids are pretty much grown-ups. And it forced me to be nostalgic and thinking, man, when I was in 8th grade, I had dial-up.
Yeah.
And there was Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And it was just like AOL.
We're probably around the same age, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 30, so I'm a little bit older. Yeah,
but
it's the same world. So
Yeah.
even to get a view through your world and seeing, like, resonating with that, even just from a different dimension almost, but still seeing the through line.
Yeah.
It really forced me to like step back. The closing shot, I started to like cry. I was just like, oh my gosh! It just took me on this entire roller coaster. So kudos to the writing and kudos to the performance.
Yeah, that LL Bean backpack is very special.
Yeah.
To me. I made her like. There's some things that would be taken from my life or whatever, but her like little LL Bean backpack with her initials and that's so. I mean, that's everyone I grew up with. We all had those like corny LL Bean backpacks, and I think the backpacks may have gotten a little cooler in the meantime. I feel like kids have like cool like North Face and Supreme.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, totally. They look like out of like Her or something. The movie Her. It's all very.
Yeah.
But
you can tell even just in your comedy alone, just the attention to detail. I think it's something people are like, oh man, he's doing all these innovative things, but it's like it's in the details. And the same thing shows in this movie in the details, like the book bag or the pool scene, which is about to come out, and then there's like a comedic moment.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, with
those
the door,
little
yeah.
details are really, I think, what makes the difference between something that resonates and something that just kind of peters off. So, in even working together, I know you're very detail-oriented in your stand-up, and I've heard you say you spent 30 hours on like a 5-minute piece you would open with. So, in the movie, what, and this may be directed at you in just the sense of, in his direction and detail orientation, like how many takes would you do? What was the kind of the relationship behind the scenes?
Good question.
Yeah, in the sense of like takes and stuff, I guess. It's very dependent on the scenes. Like with the dinner scene between me and Josh, that one we did a lot to get that relationship right, you know. So we used like the last take for that, right? Something like that. So I was actually annoyed by the end.
She wanted that scene to be over.
Oh, yeah.
How many takes? Like how long are we talking here?
Probably the whole day, 30.
Yeah, something like that.
30? It was the whole day though?
A lot of the day
Yeah.
was that scene, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of cool stuff.
Would you,
Yeah.
The question, did I feel
Yeah.
overbearing and
No,
very
no,
particular?
no.
No, but really, did I feel...
No.
As he's directing you now to
Yeah,
answer
exactly.
the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let me try and answer the question.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. He's saving me from my anxiousness.
Which is
so
something
yeah.
you share, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, no.
But not overbearing. Did I feel detail-oriented?
Thank you. No, I mean, I wouldn't say particularly because a lot of this is kind of about like feeling your way through stuff. There obviously are like, you know, little details, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it was very like out there, open, I guess. I think.
That's good.
Whatever.
I mean,
Whatever.
Maybe I led her to that answer. But I'm saying, I hope that's what the answer
Whatever.
is. I mean, I was
No.
very detail-oriented, but I didn't want her, or the actors, of course, to feel any of that. Like, they shouldn't feel micromanaged moment to
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
Like, you know, the whole point is, the way I'm detail-oriented, of course, like with production and all that stuff, we have months and months and months to prepare. But as far as the film and the performances are detail-oriented, my job as a director on set is to encourage an environment where details can flourish freely and then take inventory of those details as I'm watching them take after take after take.
Yeah.
There's a great moment there. Ooh, that little thing's happening there. But not to go, oh, okay, like on this, I mean, my favorite moments in the movie, details, little things, little performances, ticks on her face or little moments of Josh and are inherently spontaneous. They have to be in order to be interesting. So yeah, my job is really just to create the environment where those things can pop up. And then my detail-oriented job is really pre-production, post-production. But production itself is like, you're just trying to make the soil rich and water things and be encouraging more than you are.
Yeah, because in editing, you'd be like 12 hours a day, right? Just like pounding it out.
Yeah, 3-4 months, yeah.
Yeah, and then take a break to direct a small special of just some comedian named Chris Rock. No big deal there.
Yeah, I've always said Rock and Elsie are very similar. So it's just this. I just applied the same thing from Elsie to Chris.
I would love to hear Elsie do.
You
Chris
are
Rock
you
bits.
are similar.
How so?
Chris is very thoughtful. Is a very thoughtful person and very conscious of himself. And I just think you both are interior people. And I'd
take what I
include
can
myself
get.
in that.
Yeah.
That I'm saying. I mean, Rock is. I mean, he's of course very extroverted and boisterous on stage, but he's actually, personally, I think, a very interior, contemplative person.
Another thing you guys share was the anxiety piece, and I'd be interested because so many people, even in my life, like struggle from anxiety. What are some personal like behaviors or personal even rituals? What have you guys been able to kind of instill in your life to help with that?
I mean, okay. I still don't have it under control or handled or anything. I started keeping a journal though. That's helped me kind of keep myself grounded. And if I ever feel myself like panicking in my room or something, I start to read it and I'm like, life is happening. I don't know. If I feel like an attack or something coming on, I just close my eyes and then it's weird, but I pretend like there's a feather there and my breathing has to keep the feather like floating in place. Yeah.
Oh. I do the same thing with a bowling ball. I just try to keep the bowling ball. So it's no, I drink water and work out. That definitely helps. Like exercise definitely helps. If it's bad, you should go to therapy. I should go to therapy. I'm not, but I should. Or anyone should go to therapy. I don't, but I should.
Have you ever?
I've never went, which
Never.
is bad. I know, and I should, because I'm like the perfect case for that should go to therapy, but I haven't. But yeah, just meditate and talk about it. I mean, that was the thing that literally saved me, was going like, I'm just going to name it. I'm just going to start talking about it. I didn't talk about it for so long. I didn't admit it. And that was sort of the thing that happened on stage. I was like, man, I'm really nervous to go on stage. All right, I want to make my whole show about how I'm nervous to go on stage.
Yeah.
And then it kind of ate itself, and I was like, well, this isn't really helping. But then I tried it here.
Or
But
you'll
yeah,
you'll get your manager to hit you in the back as hard as he
Yeah,
can.
exactly. I did. I got. Well, yeah,
stuff like
I got
that.
him to. Yeah, it's. There's. It just put out in the open. I think that's the most dangerous thing about anxiety, is that if it becomes your personal secret, you know, and that's what we hope in part the movie can do. The movie can kind of get this thing out in the open and say, this is an experience everyone has, or not everyone has, but a lot of people have, or I think everyone has to varying degrees, but that it's common and it's exacerbated by the internet, and it's I think it's just only getting more common, this feeling. I think her generation is going to be a very anxious generation in
Oh,
general.
for sure. I mean, I'm already seeing it in a lot of kids I know. Like, it's not, well, I don't want to say special because it never is, but like, it's not uncommon to find anxiety in like everyone. Like, everyone is. And I think social media plays a part in that, honestly, because everyone is just so worried about everything all the time. And then, yeah.
And it's been directly linked to depression. Like
Yeah.
social
media,
I believe
yeah.
it. I believe
Yeah.
it, yeah.
So it's definitely not going anywhere. So what is your goal with the movie? Are you trying to bring an awareness? I mean, it's almost like it can be stopped.
No.
but-
I mean, no. There's no. We're not trying to make a TED talk or a PSA or anything. I mean, really, we're just trying to make a good movie, which
you
just
did.
means that it just like.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Just trying to engage people in a thing, make a watchable, interesting thing, more than it is like some public service. It more just like express a true feeling we have. Yeah, and hopefully people can see it and either empathize with it or sympathize with it, or hate it. It doesn't really matter. That was just the goal: make a good movie. You have ideas and themes all in your head, but then when you get down to actually making the movie, it's like, just tell the story about this person.
Yeah, but even finding that story took a lot of exploration and refinement. And you mentioned before in interviews, like having tent poles along the way that you then built the movie upon. What were those tent poles?
Yeah, like it was more just diving into scenes and trying to write a movie that I just wanted to see. What's a scene I would like? What's another scene I would like? And just try to build an entire movie out of only scenes I'd want to see. And then when I got 50, 60 pages into it, started to realize, okay, now how do these things maybe fit together? But yeah, I was wanting to. Yeah, there were just like throw a kid into fun stuff and build from there. And it was also in writing, just try to write something that I enjoy writing the entire time.
You make it sound so easy.
Well, it's not. None of this is good. I mean, none of it. All this could lead to something not good. This story in particular sort of poured out very, very quickly, in a couple weeks or so. The first draft, at least. But yeah, when writing is going well, it feels, like it can just be 10 pages very, very quickly.
Right.
And it feels like listening when it's going really well. But that's only the first step, and then there's a million, slamming your head, things going totally south and questioning everything.
Just in the writing process alone?
Not totally in the writing process. Once the writing itself is viewed in light of production and as a reality, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
not just a fun little script you have, but now it's a thing that's actually going to be made. It needs to be feasibly made. And then, it aligns with the culture, and then you're looking at the cultural moment, which is obviously pretty high right now, and going, wait, is this going to be interpreted this way? Is this going to be seen that way? I'm a man making a story about young girls. Is there, there's a lot of stuff to worry about, understandably and probably correctly. So yeah, there's a whole different thing between a nice little idea of a thing that you finished on the paper for yourself and actually having to birth something into the world, which is much scarier.
Well, clearly, having Scott Rudin behind it, he's pretty much like the LeBron of movie producers.
Yes.
Like, he's the guy. So
Yeah.
clearly there was something on the page that resonated.
Yeah, I think, yes, Scott, I think it just seemed, Scott would use the word authoritative, which I think was nice, or he just felt like it was confidently itself or something. I don't know. I mean, you can, I don't know, but I think it was just a nice little self-contained thing that sort of was going for some. I have no. I mean, I'm being forced to describe how my own script is cool. I have no idea. This is like a
I don't know. I'm just really talented and good and a product.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know else to sum up my talent, man.
Exactly. I need 20 minutes to be able to even scratch the surface of my ability.
Well, you guys have been doing interviews all day, so I appreciate you doing this. But
Yeah, of course.
a lot of what my podcast is about is just learning. A lot of my listeners are really into learning and the behind the scenes, and I'm very detail oriented as well. And not only if it's my podcast or my stand-up or my writing, I'm detail oriented as well. So it's cool to see other people that are detail oriented, and we all have a different process, but we're all trying to get to the same destination, which is to make a quality piece of work.
Yeah.
So even in getting more on the informative side, the audition process, I know you had to audition a couple times, and a lot of my listeners are comedians or actors as well, so I would love insight into the audition process, maybe from the actor side and how you approach it and what you've learned from auditioning, and maybe from the director side and what you're looking for in auditions.
Do you just mean like in general or with this specifically?
Yeah, with your personal experience as an actor in the world. I know you did like Despicable Me.
Yeah,
and
okay.
On that side, but you could relay it to Bo's audition process if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I just kept going for it, I guess, because like, especially now that I'm a teenager, it's a little harder for me to get stuff because I'm not what a lot of people are looking for, and even if I am, they could cast some 18-year-old who can play me, in their
Right.
eyes for longer and maybe better.
Even your high school or your theater
Oh, yeah.
teacher will say no.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fine.
It's just about, keep going out there, and it gets depressing a little bit if you're not getting stuff, but whatever. It was really nice when I came to the audition for this, though, because I remember, I dropped my script, immediately, and, Bo was just chill with it, whereas I went into an audition for some show after that, and on my headshot, I didn't have my acne as much. And they're like, oh, where's all the acne?
They said that out loud?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I know. Isn't it
gosh,
insane?
savages.
But yeah, no,
The worst. I mean, the worst people
Oh,
ever.
basically.
Wow.
It was really nice to audition for this, though, because, there was a little bit of freedom and, improv-ish stuff. And it was just really genuinely fun, and I liked the project. And that's, the goal for anyone auditioning. I mean, obviously, aside from getting stuff, is to definitely find a connection with what you're doing.
How do you prepare?
I don't know. I mean, just memorize the lines and try to get a feel for them and see what, it's all about feeling for me. It's hard for me to think about it too much, because if I think about it, I start getting anxious, and then, yeah.
Because even in this movie, you would get the script day of, right?
Yeah.
Bo would almost throw it to you.
Yeah,
day
I
of.
only got to read the script once full through, or all the way through, and then I would get it day of for the lines. I think it really played into my performance, so it kept it fresh in my head.
But were you still are you a director who's verbatim? This is it. So that gave the freedom to play.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially for this, it's about trying to capture the way kids articulate themselves. So it has to sort of exist on the sort of horizon of their thoughts. So they should be grasping for the words and barely getting them. But it was pretty close. I mean, it was across the board much less. It was not improvised.
Sorry
it was
to
just
bore you here.
No.
Elsie, I'm
You can
so
throw
sorry.
you can throw, yeah, exactly.
Give her Red Bulls.
I get it.
We need to get these kids on Red
Bo
Bulls.
was
Yeah, I
just
know.
talking for too long, man.
Well, this is get used to it. I sit there for 90 minutes and listen to you.
Whatever.
Gucci.
Yeah, it's and as far as actors, was that the question? What they should look like in an audition?
Oh,
What they should do in an audition?
Well, I was asking her from the actor side, and
Yeah.
then from the director side, what your audition was, how you're looking from a director side.
I mean, everyone's got different things. I mean, I'm just looking for natural specificity, so not put on specificity.
What do you mean by that?
Someone that is a
more
particular
specific.
person. Yeah, exactly. Naturally. Someone that is just something particular, dispositionally or expressively, but not put on. I'm kind of just trying to know them through the scene more than I'm trying to get, like, do they have a great take on this scene?
So they make a choice.
And
they
I'm trying.
commit.
Yeah, they just are, and I'm
Gotcha.
trying to actually. If I feel them making choices, I don't like it. Usually, I'm trying to just kind of get to know them. I wanted to tell people, like, you should know the pressure's off because it's so personal. Like the pressure's off because your ability to get this role is actually kind of out of your hands because you just got to be right for it. You got to feel right. You got to look kind of right. Or so don't worry. Like, just be yourself, and you're either going to be right for it or not. But also just to be alive and be specific and maybe take a risk. But I don't know. Acting is a beautiful thing, a beautiful, raw, strange, weird thing, and it should. I think it should be taken seriously if you're going to do it. You know, if you want to do it, take it seriously as a craft. Come prepared. It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. I mean, anyone that's like looking at like that is a. You're like not getting it if you're looking at your lines. Like really, like or the people that do get it 90% of the time are off book, and it isn't just because like, oh, it shows you're professional. Like, you got to be there. Like, show me what you can. Like, you're not showing me how you act if you're glancing at this thing. Like,
Right.
So I would say that, but that's just for me. I mean, that's if you want to be in a small indie movie and make SAG minimum.
Yeah, it's right now it's a small indie movie, but
But yeah, I would just say, yeah, do it. You know what I mean? Do it. Like, because I'm saying I'm as a comedian doing it, but like, and I would know comedians would be like, I got this audition. You know, they like don't want to take it seriously because it's like not cool. Or, like,
Right.
commit to it.
Yeah.
Like, across the board, like try, commit. It sometimes like feels like not cool to try, but like try.
yeah, definitely.
Try, commit, go for it. Memorize, care about the audition, and don't get the part and be bummed about it. It's beautiful.
But that's easy, and even just the preparation point is something that's so overlooked now, and it can evolve back into just like the story of the movie, or even just culture and how it's more of like a microwave culture now.
Yeah.
And everything is just like McDonald's, as opposed to really letting stuff ferment
Yeah.
and appreciate and let it learn. Like your hour specials, you'll spend 3 years developing one. As you know, it became the system. Well, you gotta do an hour a year. It's like, all right, we'll see how that turns out for you.
Yeah, some people are the Beatles that can do
Yeah.
that. Maybe, you know, Bill Burr is that now or something. I don't even know if he's even doing that. And most people aren't. You know, if you have that, if your output is screaming for that much, great. You know, but it's hilarious. Like the two people I'm thinking are Woody and Louie, and it's like, oh my god.
I know.
So
maybe
it's
tough to make those
It's
references
just
now.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
maybe we should look into people with high output. But
Anybody excelling? You have high output, so I don't know.
I don't think I do. You know, my Twitter feed doesn't. Everyone's tweeting at me, "Are you dead?" So they don't think I'm high output. But yeah. But I think you're right about it's just more just like it's very cool to just like not go for it and not care, and you should care. It's just so funny, like out in LA when everyone's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going on the auditions, so who cares? I'm like, you moved to Los
moved here,
Angeles.
yeah.
Like, cat's out of the bag, you care.
Yeah.
You're a dreamer. I'm sorry. Like, you're from Nebraska. Why are you here? Like, you know, so
Just
like
to not care in a
Yeah.
better climate.
Exactly. So, and like to circle back to the auditions, like the casting directors, they notice when people care. You notice, and you want that person. Like you'll think about that person again. Mm-hmm. Like hard work is super rare and getting rarer, you know. And I don't, and I need to work harder. I don't work hard enough, and. So if you can do that and develop a good work, like it's really valuable and will be seen as valuable.
And a competitive advantage, I would say. Even just having the discipline.
Yeah.
Is that we're talking about from like the grown-up world, but even in your world more, is that almost the attitude of people your age now too? Is almost the higher sense of entitlement and like even in class, like I didn't study.
Oh, for sure. Like, and I don't know if I live in a rich area, but it's obviously well off, I guess.
Oh
yeah.
It's
It's a nice area,
Yeah, it's
but
nice. It's not.
no one there knows
Being
manners.
funny,
And
Bo. Sorry.
swear to
We
God,
don't come from this. Neither of us are from.
I came from a mountain town.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I grew up
Oh, yeah?
in the literal mountains. So,
Where at?
do you know Palm Springs?
In Florida?
Nope.
Oh, that's the
Okay,
one I know.
it's in California. It's
Oh,
a
cool.
tourist town. It's really cool.
Oh, they plucked you there to put you in
You
a
know,
Hallmark
Palm Springs. It's a
commercial.
mountain about 300 miles north of Palm Springs. That's where she was.
Yes.
Oh, fancy.
Anyways, so no, I mean, I live in a well-off area now, and it's just every kid there is just. It's so annoying how much people just don't understand that you. I'm getting mad.
Oh, wow.
But like everyone is so entitled. It's so rare to find the good few.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
The Marines.
yes.
Yeah.
This guy. You should do comedy again, man.
I keep getting told that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it applies to the acting world. I don't have a lot of acting friends, at least my age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good.
Good. Yeah.
I don't know.
It keeps you normal.
I suppose, but I mean, I can be normal
Whatever
and have
normal
acting
is,
friends.
yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, I'm just.
I don't know if you could be normal with acting friends. Maybe like friends that like to act, but I'm saying like child actors that are all like in movies. Like that's a weird group.
I mean, it's a weird group, but I don't know. Is anyone normal?
Yeah, you
That's
know what?
the
I don't want to
question.
keep you away from
Normal is
anybody.
subjective.
You go
Yeah.
for it. You
Well, I
Bo
mean-
Burnham is telling you what's normal. Okay,
Exactly,
That's,
yeah.
you got to
It's
take that.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it as much as in the acting world, but then again, I don't have much of a view on it, I suppose. I don't know. But especially with kids my age,
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's everywhere. I think it is though. It's like mind blowing how these people just have. No, I'm just. This is something I think about so much because people just make me mad because they don't care about anything. Like especially the boys at my school, they do nothing for work. Like they have no career ahead of them except for McDonald's. And, you go if that's your dream, but like takes like maybe an hour to do your homework. Just do it, buddy. Just do it.
Yeah, well, read some Jordan Peterson, boys. Get out
Yeah,
there.
read some Jordan.
You're not all gonna be, famous
Terrence McKenna,
Fortnite
throw
players
that
on
in there.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You're not all gonna be the next LeBron James.
Yeah. That's what's so funny, and even so time about this movie is being famous is a career path now. That's almost like you ask a kid what they want to be. It's not like a doctor.
Yeah, it was
it's like
a
a
thing,
YouTube star,
60%. They did some study like 7 years ago, and it was what do you want to be when you grow up? And most kids answered famous.
Aww. The one I don't like is kids are answering YouTube. Like that, in my opinion, that's almost worse than famous because no offense to any YouTubers, I appreciate the website, but you have to, YouTube is a career and it gives back to the community in some ways, but that shouldn't be something you're aiming for. Like, you should aim for something with substance because YouTube has become such a
YouTube is a
it's a business now and it's not
Totally.
fun to do and no one's creating anything
No,
of
but they're all
worth.
insane, like filming their own lives, walking around,
Yeah,
being like,
you can-
today we filled a kiddie pool with Jello, and I brought my friend with a mohawk over.
No,
It's like, what?
exactly. and like the fact that people aspire to do that for their entire life is so
It's like I filled my dad's closet with milk duds. It's like,
Yeah, and-
why?
And another thing is like kids want to do that as a career, but after a certain point you have to stop. You can't just do that forever.
There's some people that do it. There's some cool educational
oh,
stuff.
for sure,
or
sure.
whatever.
But I mean like the type of YouTuber everyone's trying to be.
trying to be is crazy.
You can't do that forever. You have to make
It's
something
like,
for
yeah,
yourself.
Airbnb a mansion and like scream at people
Yeah,
on
exactly.
the street.
I don't know.
But even that stuff requires a work ethic. People don't understand until they
Yeah,
get into it.
They don't even want to have.
Oh,
a
but they're
work ethic.
hardworking. I mean, Jake Paul's working his butt.
They
I mean,
work
they're
true.
busy.
hard,
They're busy.
dude.
They're
It's a
just
full-time
the
job.
devil.
But like, people.
Well, obviously, I mean, he's
I don't know.
he's the worst.
But
Whatever.
You sparked all this, Bo.
I know, I did.
You were in your piano at
Yeah.
16 with
Yeah,
a
I was
camera on a
like-
pile of books.
Yeah. I guess. Maybe I was them. I don't know.
It's evolved so much.
And then, like,
has.
what is he? I mean, he like did the Suicide Forest thing, and then he comes back the next day with the whole thing on
Oh,
suicide
yeah, I
prevention.
know.
It's beyond
YouTube
parody.
is
it's
gross
beyond
to me
parody.
now.
But even now, you look at like they're like, oh, the viral videos, and then it's by NBC or by.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's
it's
the
bullshit.
networks now.
Yeah, no, it's literally
right?
the viral videos of the day are trailers and Tonight Show clips and
Yeah.
yeah, it's hell. It's a lot. Like a little kid in his bedroom making funny songs that I was never would have worked now.
Oh no.
Never
There's
would have
so
gone
many
through.
people doing it, and you stumble across them, and you're like, oh, that person's great.
But they all
you know-
vlog and they make music videos
Yeah.
and they're musicians and they have their merch and it's
I don't get how vlogs are so popular. I can't sit through them.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know.
I follow people, and it's like I've come here for your content, and you're like, watch me make a peanut butter sandwich.
yeah, it's crazy.
Watch me walk my 4 dogs.
I know.
You sound like old married couple right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
These kids and their Wi-Fi.
I know. I feel that way. Well, I just feel like, come on. I mean, there are good people. There's like I'm saying there's a lot. There's some YouTubers on there that
Oh, of course.
vlog about like boogie vlogs, and I like him a lot, and his stuff is personal and feels insightful. And there are other
There are
people.
some people who are really using the medium.
We
to
know
its
who
finest.
we're talking about. It's those like
Yeah.
insane
Yeah,
people that are crazy that like all like live in the same place and they go over and they're like 19 and they throw like cream pies in each other's face. They're like, John. It's like, what? And they're all like vaguely hooking up with each other and then
It's okay, you can
and
say
there's
Team
no
10.
hair on their like what is it, Team 10? I don't even know these people.
I'm sad I do. Whatever.
It's crazy.
I'm
I
not-
just know how sad they will be when they are judged by the Lord.
They're judged by the Lord.
It's not going to go well.
How are you guys even in the movie promotion side? You said some of the top videos are trailers or whatnot, and we are more connected than ever. And it's cool. You're actually two things that I can tell just from what you said today, that this is not just a flash in the pan as far as your vision and your overall career. Is one, you said you shot the movie as if it were going to be VR, that's the future. That's where it's headed. It's something people can't wrap their mind around right now, but that's going to become the norm. Is just that experience and entertainment.
Yeah.
And you're tapping into podcasting. You're using podcasting as a way to promote this film, which is on a boom right now. Podcasting is on a boom right now.
Uh-huh.
So in promoting this movie, how are you kind of staying out of the noise in that sense and getting lost in the current?
In what sense?
Well, we're talking about YouTube and how it's a bunch of just like curated like content that people are paying to have
Yeah.
in front of you. How are you getting the word of this movie out that may be a little more unorthodox?
Oh,
Whoa. That
Whoa.
was quite a...
people
Where
can
did-
watch it. People cannot. You know what I mean? I'm saying I'll just talk about it honestly, and if people want to see it, great. If people don't, that's all right. We had fun. Yeah. And we'll try to do some creative stuff, but I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thinking is the thinking that hopefully the movie's almost slightly an antidote to or something. You know what I mean? Not just to only think about, I don't know, like at a certain point, the internet, all the internet is a bunch of people trying to figure out how to be fresh on the internet, and I'm just going,
Yes.
here's my movie,
Here, with my YouTube money. It's very easy to be like, when
Yeah.
you have YouTube money.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Oh yeah, when you're
like-
rolling in YouTube money, yes.
You were an early adopter, like Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm rolling in my YouTube money.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this could very well be noise. We're saying right now. I'm saying I'm just trying. I think people can sniff out when you're trying to, I don't know, twist something original so that your promotion goes down as something other than promotion. And we're going, this is just promote. You want to see this thing? Does this sound like a
Right.
cool movie to see or not?
Right.
It either does or it doesn't.
And that can almost be a breath of fresh air in us discussing people are creating content not for the sake of content, but for the sake of satisfying someone other than themselves. Like, what will these people like?
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to being like, what will I like? And then in turn, that'll gravitate in just an organic following, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's exactly how I've done things or tried to. Just going like, this is something I think would be cool, and then hopefully there are people like me that share that thing.
Yeah. I don't know. People shouldn't create content for audiences, I guess. I mean, they can, but like create stuff that makes you happy.
Boom.
Because like, what's the point of doing stuff if it doesn't make you happy? You know?
Well, for gold.
What?
For gold, for blood.
But don't
Those are the other
those things
reasons.
like make
you happy?
Yeah. See,
The feeling of gold and blood in my hands.
yeah.
It's true.
Gold in one, jar of blood in the other.
Jar.
Happy life.
Yeah, good.
Wow, you guys are like one and the same.
We really
So
are.
adorable.
It's creepy, but we're basically the twins from The Shining.
Yeah.
Whoa, I just like
I'm
that
the one on the
reference. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
She knows The
Yeah.
Shining.
She knows it from Ready Player One. That's her.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Ready Player One?
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible. That scene. I didn't. I thought.
I like the hotel part. Yeah, that was
Yeah, I
cool.
thought that was crazy.
Do you know who John Hughes is? Do you know John Hughes films?
I've heard the name. I'm not that cool though.
No, you're very cool.
No, it
That's
wouldn't
why
make
you're
sense.
here.
I think it'd
That's
be.
why I don't
think it'd be.
even know
I don't know why it would.
awareness. Yeah, I didn't know.
And it's weird because a lot of the movies aimed at kids now are just sort of reused. And I think John Hughes was talking about something very relevant to kids in the 80s. And of course, there's a timeless quality to it. But like, I just don't think it's I don't think the pain of kids now is grounded in the same place that it was back then, which is back then it seems to have been grounded in how do you fit into the hierarchy of high school and how do you deal with
Right.
your parents. And now I think it's much more internal or something. Maybe.
Because we're like pretty much living on the internet.
Yeah.
So we're almost our own publicist in a way, where every day we're having to update our
Yeah.
lives to entertain people or inform people. Like, are you with school? Are you do status updates of like big test today? Like, is that what?
Nah.
I'm not on
Nah.
kid Facebook. I don't know. You're not a kid. You're.
The only
child
ones I
superstar.
use are Instagram and Twitter, mostly because I feel like I'm supposed to.
Oh yeah. Nobody's on. Was that a line in the movie? Nobody. I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah,
And I had
yeah.
written Facebook into
Perfect.
the script, and it was just I showed up and all the kids were like, "We don't use Facebook." And I was like, "What?"
Edit.
So I had to change all of the
Nice.
messages to Instagram DMs.
Gotta keep up with the times, Burnham.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to only use like my Twitter for tweeting stuff I think is funny, and my Instagram for pics of my plants and my dogs. I don't understand how people feel the. I mean, I get it, but like the fact that people feel the need to be like taking a breath, taking another breath, like that is. I don't know. Whatever.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also inspiring to hear somebody at your age feeling this way. Because me just looking from afar, I'm like, oh, they're all just in this and so
yeah,
absorbed.
yeah,
But
yeah.
there's wisdom in there.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, and I think a lot of them feel more like she does than I think you even realize too,
Interesting.
Elsie. You know what I mean? I think a weird part of the internet is that, especially being young on it, you feel like you're the only one that thinks this is BS.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like a lot of the other, you know what I mean? Like I think everyone is going like,
In a
why?
weird way, that literally directly relates to the movie because it's about feeling something you think no one else is.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then, like,
exactly.
I don't know.
But it's
just
like
thought
I
that
bet.
was cool.
I bet a lot of those kids posting annoying stuff also are like, I can't believe I have to do this. And then, you know what I mean? I think everyone's like, there's very few people that are, but maybe they are. Maybe they are.
Maybe.
just-
I mean, but
you see a lot of
I
excited
I
kids
deal with
just
this
doing
like
it.
every day,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like they're not sad about posting a selfie every 20 seconds.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah. Yeah.
you can tell when I stuck my tongue out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They'll do 30 takes of those photos. Like
Yeah.
30
I
takes
know.
of selfies.
It's a lot of space.
the funniest thing is to watch someone take a picture like right on the Instagram story picture, and then they don't like it and they have to redo it. They can't just keep taking. That's funny. It's
Wait,
so
what
funny.
is that? I don't know. How does
Like
that
with
work?
the Instagram story, you take a picture and you can't just keep taking. Like if you take it,
Oh,
it
right, you
goes
have to-
ready to post.
So you have to start over again.
Yeah,
You
so
mean-
it's funny watching people
Yeah.
just do that over and over.
Do you find in creativity that it's almost the more personal, the more universal it becomes?
Probably not, unfortunately. You know what I mean? I'm saying I wish that was the truth, but like the most universal stuff seems to be Star Wars and Deadpool right now. You know what I mean? I'm saying, so I don't know if those are incredibly specific. Like the
For
numbers.
you personally, though,
Yeah.
because you go to the beat of your own drum. Like your comedy special, just an example. And as a comedian, watching you do that and it being like, oh my gosh, it's Steve Martin again. Like it's
that's
not even
nice.
like, not even saying replicating Steve Martin, but like how Steve Martin put forth almost his big thing was getting a laughter out of absence and not telling the audience when to laugh, but letting them decide when to laugh.
Yeah.
Your specials are doing the same thing in that it's not like here's the structure that it becomes predictable. You've really created almost your own genre.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's probably what's more personal is more universal. I don't know what's universal, but it's like I never felt like I was speaking to the universe. You know what I mean? I felt like I was speaking to people that kind of immediately related to me personally. So, but it was a long thing of finding out that, I think that my answer would be there is nothing specific that is not relatable to other people. Like there's no situation that can't be understood by someone else. Because I thought, literally at the time when I felt like I was the only one in the country, like being a 24-year-old touring comic, whatever, and I found everyone understood what I was going through. Really, truly. I was so self-obsessed that I thought I was the only one that could possibly understand this, but it's all the same thing.
So basically, no one's special.
Yeah, truly. You feel fear and sadness and happiness. They're all the same. They all feel the same. It doesn't matter what situation you're in.
As long as there's an emotional connection to whatever you're doing, that's what people.
And that's the
resonate
only thing to connect to, I think.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's actually ever happening is like, you know what I mean? You're nervous or you're scared or you're excited. And you could be excited because you just won the World Series. You could be excited because you just cashed a coupon. You mean, it could be any, but like,
Right.
So if you lead with the emotion, or at least people will latch onto that, as much as, they won't go, oh, I've worn a red sweater. You know what I mean? It's much more like, oh, I've had that look on my face.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, I have to say thank you both for taking the time out to do
Appreciate
this.
it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for very
Absolutely
thoughtful
amazing. The
conversation.
movie, bravo. Seriously.
Appreciate it.
I was
Yay.
connected from the opening shot. So well
That's
done.
awesome. Well, thanks,
Seriously.
man.
Yeah.
A lot
Appreciate
more
it.
good things to come. And before we get out of here, is there anything else either of you want the world to know?
Meh.
You know what? That seems good to me.
Yeah.
Meh.
Meh. Just meh.
That is actually our summation of the internet and everything.
That sounds like meh.
Really, truly, like, we don't know. I mean, we can sit here and talk about stuff, but the movie is really supposed to be like, we want to make a movie about the internet that wasn't instructive, that wasn't talking down to people.
Yeah.
We think it's a really confusing time to be alive, and hopefully this movie is just a reflection of that confusion, not a, TED Talk.
You nailed it. It's educational and entertaining, so kudos.
Appreciate it,
Thank
bro.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Hot breath.